everyone. I will call to order the regular Common Council meeting on March 24th, 2026. The first item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, Councilman Howley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first we will go to public comment. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the council? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to committee reports. Councilman at large, Councilwoman at large.
Yes, our committee left Wednesday, and we were joined by Jeff Flagg and our council, Claudia Bramer. And we had a lot of discussion about a lot of things, but
Well, Jeff was there.
but we were talking about foreclosure properties. The main thing we're going to be looking at our next meeting is all of our grants. We have a copy, and Jeff has given us the all of our grants, and we'll invite Jim Thatcher to come and talk to us about the grants that are open. We have a lot of grants that are on the books. Some of them are already done, but we just want to go through them all, make sure of where they are, because some of them are old and just need updating. But that was really one of the big things. And we talked about foreclosed properties. Trying to get something in place for that, so that the city can do something with all the foreclosed properties in Glens Falls. And we're going to check with urban renewal for the foreclosures. And, we talked about a lot of things. It's really about properties and things right now for the city and the grants. And we'll be meeting, as a matter of fact, we are going to be changing our monthly day to Thursdays at 5, but I have to get that straight with Emily and first, just for the convenience of the committee. So we're going to change the date for the committee.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I believe Allison and Daddy will attend your next meeting.
Right. Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Our new thing.
Yes, our understanding. Okay, perfect. Committee reports. Councilman Downey.
The Audit and Finance Committee kind of met out of cycle on St. Patrick's Day 3/17/26 to discuss the proposals that came into our RFP for financial advisory services, and we made a strong recommendation that the resolution 518 be put forward to get us on the straight and narrow. We also met yesterday 3/23. Carrie Lambert, purchasing manager, came and helped us kind of peruse through the warrant and do a quick little spot check and an audit of the warrant. We found it to be sufficient and whatnot, and everything seemed to be in tip-top shape. We also met with the fire chief, Izzy Motor, to discuss some of our EMS fees seem to be a little bit outdated and haven't been updated in many, many years. So we're going to look at possibly adjusting some of the EMS fees that we charge. And the next meeting is, I believe, 4/13/26 for the next common council meeting.
Thank you, and thank you for getting that extra committee meeting in. Okay, committee report, Councilman Landry.
Thank you, Mayor. The Labor Management Personnel Committee met just before this meeting tonight. Sean has decided to be he volunteered to be our recording secretary, so he took the minutes tonight, and we'll get those put together for us and sent to all the people on the council. We did discuss tonight, which I will talk to you about, the and I think it's a great idea, that the personnel office gather data that will be presented to the council. That's what I've given around to each one of you, on any staff changes, promotions, new people on board, people who've left, all of that. I talked to the little mayor, to the Judy about it tonight. It would be nice to also recognize long-term employees, 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary. She said she worked, that data is not as easily available, but I think that would be a great thing for us to do. So overall, we had a pretty good meeting, and we'll be sending you the minutes for it in the next couple of weeks.
Perfect, thank you. And I was really happy that they were able to get that together so quickly, that information. Do you find that helpful?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, okay, good, good. All right, committee reports, Councilman Rice.
The policy committee met this afternoon. It's our second meeting of the month. We may end up doing that for a while, we'll see. As necessary, we'll do that. First half of the meeting was basically a departmental input session on the encroachment permit policy, the employee codes, city engineer, and city clerk's office in the room with us. That input will inform our background in the concept memo, which I'll be preparing based on that this week. Basically talking about changes in needing certificates of insurance and also possibly changing fees around road and permits. Items with city attorney last week, GS3, policy drafts in progress for city-owned vehicles, city-owned equipment, and Glens back policy are all in progress for us to take a look at the drafts and decide whether that's where we want to go. The committee formally adopted recommendations on tree commission item. We're going to move that also to chair's drafting guidance, which I will get to Attorney Glasper to create a draft for that as well. On the investment policy, we are going to refer that to the Finance Committee. And it turns out that there was an outside consultant called 3+1 that may have apparently prepared a policy or some sort of draft of the policy that the Finance Committee can review as a starting point, and that the Controller's Office can also use as a starting point, if not simply use. The committee also assigned mandatory policy research for 3 members, basically to try to identify whether the city has all 7 of the required New York State policies that we are supposed to have. I just want to make sure we're compliant to that mandate. And 2 news items surfaced for intake. We're going to work on a petty cash policy, which I should have referred to already in finance. So I'm going to know that. And the whistleblower policy, which I plan to refer to the ethics board for recommendations for a formal intake. Next meeting will be 2 weeks.
That's a lot. Thank you. And thank you to Attorney Gaspar for all of your help on that committee. Really appreciate it. Okay, committee reports, Councilman Lapham.
Thank you, Mayor. Remember when we would have committee reports and there would be nothing to report? That was a while ago. That was a different administration. Anyhow, Technology Committee met on Thursday. We discussed cyber security and IT infrastructure with Orbital Fire. There are some, they gave us a presentation about what their findings were in the risk analysis. So they had some recommendations from that. We're going to meet not Thursday, but following Thursday, and go over that. Also, we're following up on the fire department request for a server. They're down OneDrive. I think they have 3 that are operating on limited power. It's a 12-year-old server. We got a quote from Storage Tech, and we are looking at that, and we're going to look at some other possible vendors as well. We discussed I'm just skipping over because I'm realizing now We are going to follow up with CrowdStrike about what we have available from the state. I'll be following that up. We're getting the additional vendor recommendations for the server, and we're going to look at policy updates and coordinate with policy committee about that, because we have a number of things that come with a WISP update when we do get the orbital fire contract settled. And the next meeting is the following Thursday.
Thank you. And committee report, Councilman Palladino.
Hi. Just like Dan, the Quality of Life Committee was jam-packed, but I think it was more fun. I think, but the
That's
two
you
special
forgot
guests.
to comment on how much fun we had in the technology.
We had two special guests. One was Scott Royale of the Warren County Office of Solid Waste and Recycling. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but he told us about the Center for Eco Technologies free assessments for businesses and cities to help abide by the New York State food scrap recycling law. There's a link that I'll send to the council soon, probably after tonight. Discussion about how we can save money with volume by recycling cardboard, and as well as helping Warren County because they want to create an experimental compost program funded by the grant that they also got from the DEC's Climate Smart Communities program. Then we also had Josh Jornoff of the Capital District Regional Planning Commission for Sustainability, who gave us an update on the city's Climate Smart Communities status. The last status was a bronze in 2021, and the next steps for documentation of completed tasks to reactivate it is May 22nd of 2026. Jeff Flagg provided a link that I'll send out to the council to have people look at the over 100 different potential tasks and actions that could be adopted. But some of it's already either in progress or about to be adopted. And next meeting related to that, we'll go over the latest draft of the city's climate action plan and fleet inventory, which are another one of the tasks that will go into the climate smart communities list. And then we also talked about Dan's alley and rear building storage from the policy committee, and if there were any concerns we had. And we also talked about a recent proposal from the Adirondack Cyclist Advocates for a potential 14-bike rack on Glen Street on a non-parking zone. It began last year, but it didn't really go anywhere, so I'm going to work with them to update that proposal and send it to the Board of Public Safety to see their thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Where did you leave things with Scott Royale? Are you moving that forward? Are you still considering it?
I'm talking about the pre-assessments. I think we're just still discussing it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, now we will go to our consent agenda. Are there any resolutions or items that you'd like to pull for discussion?
I'd like to just make sure 5.6, I'd like that just be publicly recognized.
Okay.
And 5, 8, and 521, please.
Okay.
518, that's 18.
Not 5, 8, 5, 18.
I'm sorry, 518,
Okay.
yes.
5, 18.
And 21.
And 5, 21. Okay.
And I'd like to pull 5.14. I just want to ask if everybody in the council or in City Hall has to sign that disclosure form? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
We'll discuss them one by one, yeah? Anyone else? Anything else? Okay.
And I pull 5.1, 5.15, 5.19, I just want to know what the difference is between the resolution that was passed last year.
Sure. Okay. Maybe we'll discuss them first, and then we'll go to the voting. So let's start with 5.6. So resolution to set a public hearing regarding changes to the parking limits on city streets.
So I just want the public to know, I just want to make it publicly known that we will be having an open, to the public discussion. Okay, April 14th at 7:25. I just want just to announce that publicly so everyone can just hear that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, so we're setting the public hearing tonight. It'll be at our next council
Well, I
meeting.
just want to be
No, that's good, yeah, before the council meeting. Okay? Any further discussion on that item? Okay. 5.8, resolution to increase cemetery interment fees. Oh, she changed it, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Okay, then we will go to 5.
Mind if I say a little bit about that? I just want to make sure the public knows. I think you mentioned that it's been 10 years since those fees have been updated, so it's a good thing that we're updating these.
Yes, the cemetery, the employee who works with us on the cemetery commission brought that to our attention. The audit and finance committee reviewed those. I think you reported on that previously, and had a favorable opinion. We put that to the cemetery commission. They also approved it, and so now here we are with it on the common council agenda.
Which is the new process.
Yes. A little slower but more thorough. Okay. Any further discussion on that? Okay. 5.14, resolution to accept the Ethics Board financial disclosure form.
So if we adopt this, everybody that works for the city has to make sure to fill it out? Or is there a deadline?
Every appointed or elected official.
Okay.
Is there a deadline for making sure it's filled out?
We're getting there. One step at a time.
I really want to thank you and the Ethics Board. I know we've talked about having an active Ethics Board for a while, but now they're actually meeting, they're looking at our processes and our forms, and so this is a good thing.
Yeah, I appreciate it, especially just from the policy committee. We referred something to the ethics board, so people who are concerned that this is a stunt or something, or grandstanding, which, there was some kind of mention of that from the previous mayor, that this is, doing real business for the city.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's good.
If I could ask a quick question, do we know who is the chairperson? You are, okay, wonderful, thank you.
Okay. The next item is 5.18. This is a resolution to accept the professional services of UHY.
So I just wanted to bring this out for this particular, I think I'll just read this little part right here.
Sure.
So be it resolved that the Glens Common Council accepts the bid of UHY to perform financial and operational review services for a total of not more than $98,495, and that the general fund balance will be decreased by $49,247.50, and budget line 811,315.4487, controller, other expert professional services, will be increased by $49,247.50, and the water and sewer fund balance will be decreased by $49,247.50. Budget line F, 785-78310.4487, water administrator. Other expert professional services will be increased by $24,623.75. And that budget line G 78110.4487, sewermen and other expert professional services, will be increased by $24,623.75. So I just wanted this to just be really understood, because this is a big number, but I really need to, I see this now too. So this number will be divided between these departments. So it makes it better. I mean, the city is not doing the 98, I mean, we are, but you know what I mean, it's going to the different departments. But I think that's very important to know, because I was actually a little confused with that. I didn't realize that this was how this was. So I really wanted that to be known. And I really, we don't know when we're going to be getting a budget still.
We have the budget, it's all set. The budget.
Do you have a budget?
Yeah, we have a budget. So this is the thing that you're conflating is the audit, not the budget.
Okay, I get it, but we still need a budget. You got a budget?
We have a budget.
Where is
We
it?
just, the budget that we approved last year.
Okay, well, that's the budget we're still working on, right here. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to address all of this again, or, okay? No, that's fine. So the 2024 audit, when this administration started, the 2024 audit had not been completed, as we talked about. And the 2025 year budget had not really been closed out. There were missed deadlines in the previous administration for budget reporting, and there were several inaccuracies in some of the lines. And so because of that, we felt it was important to take this step to kind of do a deep dive and really understand the financial picture. And so that's what we're doing. The Audit and Finance Committee reviewed this and vetted it. I don't know if you'd like to make any comments on that.
Yeah.
Donahue?
Yeah, I mean, out of the three proposals the city received, this seemed to be the most thorough, what the city actually needs to make sure we're on a good fiscal ground going forward.
Yep.
So that's what's,
Yep.
it's, I mean, yes, we are gonna have to pull from the general fund, unappropriated general fund balance, but we feel it's kind of necessary to do based on.
I agree. I just wanted just to be, just to be.
And it's gonna, and like you said, it's gonna be divvied out between, water fund, sewer fund, and a fund general, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, Resolution 519. Councilman Palladino, this is your.
So what's the difference between the one that was already approved?
I think it was the wording of the previous resolution. Emily, you felt like.
No, the terms are wrong. There was the term dates for those when people, it was a 3-year term, and I don't think it was represented that way. So it just needs to change the terms, just for the record.
Makes sense.
Nothing changed about the appointments, just correcting some previous wording. Yep.
Mayor, question.
Yes.
Does the city have a representative on the?
Well, we, not a city employee, but we appoint 3 people, and those are the 3.
Just those.
Yeah. Although I will say Amy Collins goes to the meetings and reports back. Yeah. All right, and the next item is 5.21, resolution to appoint an interim recreation director.
So I think it says Tom Gerard, superintendent DPW, but is it supposed to say recreation?
He's kind of doing both roles
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
I was just wondering, is it supposed to say
Yeah.
there?
Let me see if there was a typo or something. Let me go to that page, 1 second. It looks like it says recreation to me in the resolution. Whereas the position of interim recreation director exists within the city of Glens Falls, the mayor recommends the appointment of Tom Gerard to serve in this role. The common council hereby appoints Tom Gerard as interim recreation director for the city of Glens Falls. Is that what you were referring to, or?
Yeah, that was what I was referring to, but I just think, he's the superintendent of the DPW and now the recreation, DPW is a big job, and the recreation, we don't want that to fall behind, but.
It is
I was
two
just- I was
jobs.
just,
Yeah.
it's increasing the salary, but.
Well, it's a reduction in the overall personnel costs for the recreation department. It was always two jobs, so previously Amy Collins held that role.
Right.
And she has another title. Any other questions or concerns about it?
No, I mean, I just wanted to, okay, it's fine.
Is it? It's okay if you have further questions or concerns.
I just think that it's, I just think it's a lot for the superintendent of DPW, and then they have to be recreation also. I feel that it's a lot, that's how I feel.
Also, okay.
I guess in relation to that, so he'll be getting two salaries, the DPW superintendent salary and recreation?
Yes, which is the same as what was happening before with Amy. She had both titles, so we're just changing the person. And the reason for that is because we moved recreation to the DPW department. Tom will be retiring from DPW superintendent at some point this year, and we will transition him to full-time recreation director, which is the reason for this change. Yeah.
Will this position, or what was it? Will he still, when, did he mention when he'll be retiring? Like, is there a definitive date or?
Nope,
Nope.
he hasn't given us a definitive date yet.
So for now, he'll be paid for two positions in a way.
That's the way the city has handled recreation for, I think, since Mayor Diamond was here. We had an interim who was given a stipend, and I'm transitioning it into a full-time director position. But because we moved recreation to the DPW department, there was a vacancy in that department, as we talked about previously. So we kind of moved up the timeline of when we were going to make that change, but it makes sense anyway because he's going to move into that position full-time once he retires anyway. So that's
Full-time
what.
or part-time, right?
No, he'll be our full-time recreation director after he
He's gonna
retires.
go into full-time.
Yeah, after he retires from DPW.
I understand.
Yeah.
And also on the unemployment included, Pat Dow was not there. Okay, right, I know, we wrote that down.
I think that she said in the email that she sent to Councilman Landry, this was the activity for the last, since the.
I think what was confusing, Mayor, was there was a couple of people on there, and the dates were in November,
Mhm.
but it had to do with that health program that, that Judy explained to me.
Yeah,
And so that's what I think caused that confusion.
yeah, let me see if I can pull up her message real quick, so I can tell you the date range she was referring to. 1 second. She said, attached is the HR department first attempt at providing your committee a recap of what has occurred in personnel service since your committee last met on 2/24/26. So it was really just talking about the activity that I have asked the personnel HR department to provide you with a report, which we never did before, once a month at your meetings to let you know about the activity for personnel so that the council is aware. So that's what this is. It wouldn't have had people whose employment terminated months ago because she was only updated from the last month with that. Yep. Any further questions? Are there any of those resolutions that you would like to pull for roll call vote? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda? Okay, second. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda is approved. Does anybody, we'll go to old business. Old business, no Councilwoman at Large, good. Okay. Old business, Councilman Donovan.
No old business.
Okay. Councilman Mather.
Please, Saturday at the Queensbury Hotel, the Peter Canal Alliance held their annual Brew Fest. I understand it was extremely successful. They had 650 paid attendees, 45 vendors that were there, and it generated 25 rooms at the Queensbury Hotel. On top of putting cars all over downtown, and I believe there was another event we were talking about earlier tonight that was going on maybe down at the shirt factory or someplace else, but it worked in unison with it. So congratulations to them on the successful event.
Great. Old business,
Old
Councilman.
business. I want to take a moment to thank the Department of Public Works for their prompt response to some potholes on Charlotte Street. The way this played out was I had a constituent reach out to me on Facebook overnight. I woke up in the morning and I saw it, and I emailed Tom that there was a need for pothole service on Charlotte. Then I drove to work at 7 a.m. and they were already there filling the potholes. It was almost absurdly fast response, and I was very happy. And I did express this to Tom, I told him that it was really a good job. And I thank the guys who were working on this. It's exactly the kind of responsive service that residents deserve, and I just want to make sure that that work gets recognized publicly.
Thank you. Councilman Martin.
Just that I saw from response to Councilman Palladino's Quality of Life Committee that we're looking to restart the Climate Smart Communities Task Force. So I'll be looking for different council members to put some suggestions for the task force together and then present that to the mayor for inclusion in a future council meeting. And just in kind of following up meeting earlier today for the policy committee, as well as Philip from Building and Codes, and informed him that we haven't been receiving the monthly reports, and he said he would get to that next month.
Thank you. Okay. Old business, Councilman Palladino.
I just want to call attention to some really cool art on display in the Crandall Library. The Friends of Crandall just unveiled a really cool display titled Honor Online Time, where a whole bunch of librarians and staff from the Crandall Library made, whether it's art displays or poems or pictures, and put them on display on the second floor of the library. So go check it out until the end of the month.
Thank you. All right, now we'll go to new business. Councilman, new business. Okay.
New business. This weekend, the Thunder are back home for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The games are pretty much sold out, so if you can find a ticket, good luck to you. Gone to a few games this year, they're doing great. Community support's been awesome, and hopefully they keep it going and make a good run at the playoffs here.
New business, Councilman Landry.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to recognize Bob Stedman. Bob Stedman was a member of our Board of Public Safety for over 20 years. Few people had as positive effect on our community as Bob Stedman did. Bob was a commissioner on the Board of Public Safety for over 20 years, following a stellar career as a New York State trooper and a BCI investigator. He was a fixture of sorts in the 5th Ward, Mary will attest to that, and was always there when anyone needed help or advice. We, the citizens of Glens Falls, were very well served by Bob Stedman. I'd like to extend to his family our sincere condolences. I'd also like to thank the mayor for putting together the police and fire department. We had an honor guard at the wake to represent the city. Mayor, I just had a quick question. I noticed in the warrant that we were paying a bill to CETA for $800. So at some point, is that just stuff that's still flowing through from when we signed that contract? Why are we paying it?
Did that come up in the audit and finance committee when you audited the warrant?
No, I just had it on.
Okay, yeah. I can ask Carrie to pull the
Yeah,
PO from
just
that just to double check.
Yeah, just
Yep.
that'd be great.
Sure.
I just want to make a note, because I've had a number of phone calls, yep, I'm happy, spring's here, yep, I'm glad I can rake my yard and garden, but Tom Gerard's coming after you if you put it in the road. You can't put yard waste unbagged in the springtime, and Tom said that it'd probably be sometime in May that they'll start bag pickup depending on the weather. Lastly, I'd like to recognize a friend of mine who's in the audience tonight, Dennis Brower. Dennis Brower used to sit with me on the Warren County Board of Supervisors, and I may be wrong about this, sat 2 terms as the supervisor for the whole town of Queensbury. So Dennis is sitting over here. Dennis has made a very fine choice in moving out of the town of Queensbury into the city of Queensbury.
Well,
Thanks for doing that. That's all.
okay, thanks. New business, Councilman Rick.
I want to invite everyone, council members, staff, and the public to come out this weekend and support the Glens Falls High School Theater Ensemble. They are performing Once Upon a Mattress on Saturday the 28th and Sunday the 29th. Seeing what this program produces, I have to say these students deliver Broadway caliber performances. It's really something special that is happening in our city. I've seen a lot of musical theater because of my family. And really what Glens Falls is doing is head and shoulders above what some other high schools are doing. The level of talent, dedication, and preparation that goes into these shows is genuinely remarkable. Directing and coaching this ensemble receives is exceptional, and it shows every single time they take the stage. If you want to see what hard work and commitment looks like in action, buy a ticket and go. You will not be disappointed. Support these students, they've earned it. Thank you.
Is your daughter in the production?
Both your dogs?
Take the fifth.
Just a big transparency. Yes, they are.
But I will back up everything you said. I mean, we do have an amazing theater program, and I think we've been recognized with the Proctors. What are those awards called?
Yeah, I think it's.
High School Musical Theater Awards.
Yeah, High School Musical Theater Awards. So, yep.
We definitely punch above our weight in musical theater.
Thank you.
And basketball.
New business, Councilman Love.
Aye.
Councilman Palladino.
I've got 2 things. At 11 a.m. to 12:30, the Lower Adirondack Pride is having a panel discussion for transit visibility at the Charles Allward Theater. This is a perfect opportunity for people that are unsure or just want to know further about the trans experience to come and listen to their voices. And then also that Sunday, at 9 to 10 a.m., I'm setting up a table full of trash bags, gloves, and some printouts about Prides and Path to have like a cleanup all along Prides Path and Feeder Canal. Hopefully it won't snow that day, but should be a good time to make sure our trails stay clean, especially as the snow and ice melts, and there seems to be a lot of trash that suddenly get released.
Yeah, and just kind of to that, I'm surprised that my esteemed colleague, Councilman Landry, didn't make a point to say, if you have a stormwater drain near you right now, this is a good time to get that cleared off so that we can have our, stormwater system working properly.
Okay.
He didn't say that, Ben. He used other words.
Okay, I have a couple things. So, first of all, I wanted to let everyone know that we will be holding sort of a public briefing on the first 100 days of this administration. It will be on April 16th. And initially we were going to do it at Crandall Library, but it's actually going to be now in Heritage Hall. And we will get some information out publicly on our, press release and all that stuff, but just to our vehicle fleet and our vehicle insurance. We've been trying in general to look at all of our contracts, all of the things we pay regularly and say, see, should we be paying these bills? Are we paying the right amount? And Steve has been working really hard to track this down across all the departments, and he's found approximately 20 vehicles that we were paying to ensure that we don't even have. So that's a big savings that we will see going forward, and I really appreciate that work. We've also done the same thing with finding tablets that were being paid that were not being used. We've canceled those contracts. We had a couple outstanding contracts with various entities that were not closed up, but we weren't using them, so we canceled those. So those are some of the things we're doing to try to make sure we're being as conservative with the funds as possible. Let's see, I had a meeting this morning with the Southern Adirondack Child Care Network. They have funding available that will expire this year for people who want to start up in-home child care centers. And they have two separate grants. One will expire at the end of May, and the other was ARPA funded, and that'll, obviously we all know that has to be spent by the end of this year. So if you know anyone in your community or in your, any of your constituents, there's money available to help them start up in-home child care facilities. They'll help them through the process, and we definitely can use more child care providers. So I think they're going to send us something, and Steve will get it out on our social media, but it's important that people know that funding is available. I also want to recognize that we have started having foot patrols again. And that is very important to all of us, I think, going forward. So I'm happy to see that happening. I was also going to mention that I attended the calling hours for Bob Stedman. I was able to express our gratitude as a city for his many years of service, and I thank our police and fire departments for their attendance as honor guard there. I also saw many retired firefighters, former mayors, lots of people coming out to that service. I will be going to the dinner to welcome the Saugus City Exchange students this Friday night. It's our sister city, and it's a wonderful program where we bring cultural exchange between our two cities, our two countries. Millie Cove heads up that effort, and it's a wonderful effort. I think that's all I have for you right now. I also just really want to thank the committees for how hard you're working. I say that every week, but it really is making a huge difference, and we are moving all of this forward together, so thank you. Now I will go to public comment. Anything online? No? Okay.
There are a lot of people online, nobody wants to talk.
Nobody making comments, okay. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to go in executive session to discuss Article 7, legal pending litigation. We have Attorney Butler here to discuss that with us. Would anyone like to make that motion? Councilman Rice?
Could I ask, was it one of the resolutions tonight based on that, or is it something separate?
One of the resolutions relates to that. We had talked about that a little bit last week, but I think there's more to discuss for future issues, and also maybe more in depth if anybody wants it regarding that. So, yeah. Yes, I need a second. Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will go into executive session. We're not taking any action. You don't have to stay. We will record the minutes of who seconded and all of that stuff. Thank you, everybody. We are in executive session.